Okay. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
Genesis chapter 31. Now Jacob heard the words of Laban's sons, saying, Jacob has taken away all that was our father's, and from what was our father's he has acquired all this wealth. And Jacob saw the countenance of Laban, and indeed it was not favorable toward him as before. Then the Lord said to Jacob, Return to the land of your fathers and to your family, and I will be with you. So Jacob sent and called Rachel and Leah to the field, to his flock, and said to them, I see your father's countenance, that it is not favorable toward me as before, but the God of my father has been with me. And you know that with all my might I have served your father. Yet your father has deceived me and changed my wages 10 times, but God did not allow him to hurt me.
Come on.
If he said thus, the speckled shall be your wages, then all the flocks bore speckled. And if he said thus, the streaked shall be your wages, then all the flocks bore streaked. So God has taken away the livestock of your father and given them to me. And it happened, at the time when the flocks conceived, that I lifted my eyes and saw in a dream, and behold, the rams which leaped upon the flocks were streaked, speckled, and gray spotted. Then the angel of God spoke to me in a dream, saying, Jacob. And I said, Here I am. And he said, Lift your eyes now and see, all the rams which leap on the flocks are streaked, speckled, and gray spotted. For I have seen all that Laban is doing to you. I am the God of Bethel, where you anointed the pillar and where you made a vow to me. Now arise, get out of this land, and return to the land of your family. Then Rachel and Leah answered and said to him, Is there still any portion or inheritance for us in our father's house? Are we not considered strangers by him? For he has sold us, and also completely consumed our money. For all these riches which God has taken from our father are really ours and our children's. Now then, whatever God has said to you, do it. Then Jacob rose and set his sons and his wives on camels, and he carried away all his livestock and all his possessions which he had gained, his acquired livestock which he had gained in Padan Aram, to go to his father Isaac in the land of Canaan. Now Laban had gone to shear his sheep, and Rachel had stolen the household idols that were her father's. And Jacob stole away, unknown to Laban the Syrian, in that he did not tell him that he intended to flee. So he fled with all that he had. He arose and crossed the river, and headed toward the mountains of Gilead. And Laban was told on the 3rd day that Jacob had fled. Then he took his brethren with him, and pursued him for 7 days' journey, and he overtook him in the mountains of Gilead. But God had come to Laban the Syrian in a dream by night, and said to him, Be careful that you speak to Jacob neither good nor bad. So Laban overtook Jacob. Now Jacob had pitched his tent in the mountains, and Laban with his brethren pitched in the mountains of Gilead. And Laban said to Jacob, What have you done, that you have stolen away unknown to me, and carried away my daughters like captives taken with the sword? Why did you flee away secretly, and steal away from me and not tell me? For I might have sent you away with joy and songs, with timbrel and harp. And you did not allow me to kiss my sons and my daughters. Now you have done foolishly in so doing. It is in my power to do you harm, but the God of your father spoke to me last night, saying, Be careful that you speak to Jacob neither good nor bad. And now you have surely gone because you greatly long for your father's house. But why did you steal my gods? Then Jacob answered and said to Laban, Because I was afraid, for I said, Perhaps you would take your daughters from me by force. With whomever you find your gods, do not let him live. In the presence of our brethren, identify what I have of yours and take it with you. For Jacob did not know that Rachel had stolen them. And Laban went into Jacob's tent, into Leah's tent, and into the 2 maids' tents, but he did not find them. Then he went out of Leah's tent and entered Rachel's tent. Now Rachel had taken the household idols, put them in the camel saddle, and sat on them. And Laban searched all about the tent, but did not find them. And she said to her father, Let it not displease my lord that I cannot rise before you, for the manner of women is with me. And he searched, but did not find the household idols. Then Jacob was angry and rebuked Laban. And Jacob answered and said to Laban, What is my trespass? What is my sin that you have so hotly pursued me? Although you have searched all my things, what part of your household things have you found? Set it here before my brethren and your brethren, that they may judge between us both. These 20 years I have been with you. Your ewes and your female goats have not miscarried their young, and I have not eaten the rams of your flock. That which was torn by beasts I did not bring to you. I bore the loss of it. You required it from my hand, whether stolen by day or stolen by night. There I was. In the day the drought consumed me, and the frost by night, and my sleep departed from my eyes. Thus I have been in your house 20 years. I served you 14 years for your 2 daughters, and 6 years for your flock, and you have changed my wages 10 times. Unless the God of my father, the God of Abraham and the fear of Isaac, had been with me, surely now you would have sent me away empty-handed. God has seen my affliction and the labor of my hands, and rebuked you last night. And Laban answered and said to Jacob, These daughters are my daughters, and these children are my children, and this flock is my flock. All that you see is mine. But what can I do this day to these my daughters, or to their children whom they have borne? Now therefore, come, let us make a covenant, you and I, and let it be a witness between you and me. So Jacob took a stone and set it up as a pillar. Then Jacob said to his brethren, Gather stones. And they took stones and made a heap, and they ate there on the heap. Laban called it Jegar Sahadutha, but Jacob called it Galeed. And Laban said, This heap is a witness between you and me this day. Therefore its name was called Galeed, also Mizpah, because he said, May the Lord watch between you and me when we are absent one from another. If you afflict my daughters, or if you take other wives besides my daughters, although no man is with us, see, God is witness between you and me. Then Laban said to Jacob, Here is this heap, and here is this pillar, which I have placed between you and me. This heap is a witness, and this pillar is a witness, that I will not pass beyond this heap to you, and you will not pass beyond this heap and this pillar to me for harm. The God of Abraham, the God of Nahor, and the God of their father judge between us. And Jacob swore by the fear of his father Isaac. Then Jacob offered a sacrifice on the mountain, and called his brethren to eat bread. And they ate bread and stayed all night on the mountain. And early in the morning Laban arose, and kissed his sons and daughters, and blessed them. Then Laban departed and returned to his place.
Amen. That was touching. That was touching. Oh my goodness. I am listening. I'm just helping grandma real quick.
Okay, I was about to say, how was it touching
I'm
and
listening.
listening?
I know. I'm gonna get back in it. I'm just helping her real fast because she finished her coffee and she's trying to get up. Vente, abuela. I'm listening though.
Okay, Brittany, what are your notes? How did you feel in this chapter?
I love how you guys always start with me. You go, Brittany, what do you gotta say? I'm just like, ooh, me? Okay. So you can see that Jacob's father-in-law Laban was an in-law that's hard to deal with, right? I have personal experience with a hard in-laws, right? And I also have hard experience where you see where Laban has eyes of jealousy. He did not want to see Jacob do well. He didn't. That's why he changed his wages so many times and tried to trip him up because he didn't want to see him prosper.
Okay. Oh,
And then there's a
yeah,
lot
okay.
of family members, so this it kind of, it's a very great lesson to show you that good explanation and a very good example for me personally to how he go, because Jacob could have been like, you're a hypocrite, you're this, you're that. He could have went about it and so angrily in so many different ways, but he was humble and just like, okay, you want them to be striped, striped they'll be. You want them to be speckled, speckled they'll be. He took it humbly, and he literally took to the, like I say that he took to the grave of the thing that I'm gonna let you do you. I'm gonna let you scrutinize me. I'm gonna let you mess with me because the one who's gonna vindicate me, the one who's gonna bless me in the end, the one who sees everything is the Lord. In spite of, in spite of you trying to crush my spirit, in spite of. And when and that's the reason why Jacob's flock grew, because he though and then his became feeble. When you wish people wrong, don't be surprised when wrong becomes of you and consumes you. But when you wish people well, blessings will be upon you. And if you rebuke somebody of someone else's blessing, when you go to ask for
Mm.
your blessings, the Lord's not going to
Ooh.
answer you. The Lord's not gonna. He's gonna. I feel like the Lord's gonna be like, "That's cute. Don't be envious. Don't covet for what other people have. Don't covet for his blessings." Because if Laban had been humble, think about it. If Laban could have been humble, it had been so. If this was written in a different format, like it just makes me think. If he was a supportive in-law, let's just say, because there are biblical supportive in-laws, right? If those have been, Laban would have been blessed too. He was starting to be blessed because there was a courtship and understanding and mutual respect. You saw that his flocks multiplied and it was beautiful and it was copious. But then when you saw that when the feelings changed, everything changed. So it shows like a the people who are around you, you have to be a mindful, and that's where like in Proverbs they always tell you to guard your heart and to be mindful, and the discernment around who you have matters. And even when you come in contact with such people, even if they're either your own family members, like for me, for example, like it could be my in-law, you just know to just guard your heart, and you know to be humble and to still be kind and still to operate with love. But then you also know to not divulge information. You know to act accordingly. Kind, gentle, but accordingly.
Amen.
You're not going to push the person away, but you're going to treat that person with respect. So that's really what like kind of hit the tone, and it kind of it was something else, but it slipped my mind. Let it come back to me, Lord. It was important. It really just, this one just hit me so deeply. So we also saw a part where Laban tried to say that I didn't get a chance to say goodbye to my daughters. I didn't get a chance to go goodbye to say to his grandchildren. Sometimes, in certain instances, you can't always have so many people all up in your business. That really just showed, because it's just like you could tell that Laban was that type of person that he wanted to be all up in the business. He wanted to know what, when, where, here, why. I don't know why it feels like not everybody needs to know exactly what you're doing every second of every day.
Gosh, okay. I needed that. That was for
Not
me.
everyone needs to know what blessings you're waiting for. Not everyone needs, it's kind of like where they say
Oh,
move in silence. Move with the Lord, don't move loudly. Because when he moved silently, Laban didn't find out until it was like 3 days out. It took a while for him to catch up, but it was needed because how much would he had have manipulated the situation if he would have found out and he would have done it like, oh, it was nice knowing you. Thank you for everything. Say goodbye to your daughters. I'm leaving. Jacob even said it himself, like, I already know the type of person you are. I would have known you would have fought me to keep your daughters. You would have left me with nothing.
Wow.
So it's kind of like when God gives you a word, it's important to sometimes take that vow of silence. As excited as you are to tell somebody, moving in silence is always the best thing. But if you ever wonder if you can share with somebody, seek the Lord about it. Mind your
Amen.
counsel, mind who's around you. Because there's people who could be at your table that are not supposed to be at your table.
That's a fact.
And I learned that personally, and I learned that the hard way. And I'm trying to figure out with the Lord how to disconnect and separate my table. It's hard, but it is possible. The only part that confused me, I kind of like I've read it over and over, is it's like Rachel's part, but the only way that I could understand it from a daughter's point of view was when she says, like, if that's what Lord tells you what to do, then go ahead and do it.
Somebody's phone died.
Maris.
Prima.
So when that part where she goes, um yeah, just go ahead and do it, but then goes back into the house and takes her dad's stuff. I'm just like, I wanted to be like, why did you why would you do that? Like, I was just like, girl, like, come on. Like, I had to read it a few times over because I was so quick to like assume in that moment. But at the same time, when you know you're going somewhere far, don't you always want to try to take a memento, even if it was the wrong memento?
Mm.
Because she took an idol, but I kind of saw like she was trying to take a piece of home with her. It was the wrong thing. I still stand on it. It was the wrong thing, but she still wanted to take something with her. And she went so far to protect it. And it just shows that sometimes we always guard the wrong things. And the Lord will try to tell you, give it to me. And the word is like, nope,
Yeah.
nope, nope. That's what I kind of saw it as, like, give it to me. Nope, nope, nope. She went as far as taking it from one place to trying to another place and sitting on it. And how many, like, I thought of like little kids, toddlers, like, give me some. And they're like backed in the corner and it's back and behind their hands. And they really try not to give it to you. That's what I
That's
really
how
saw it
toddlers
as.
are. Get my
Hmm.
spray before they take my spray.
And
Caleb
that,
does it. My
and
toddler does it now. I say, give me. He starts backing up slowly, looking at me directly in the eyes.
How old is he? 3?
One.
He's a baby.
He's a baby, but he already knows to back up in the corner and run away.
1 year old. God bless him.
He says, "Uh oh, tuck and run."
that part with Rachel taking her father's idol, I saw it as though, because right before she took it, Leah and Rachel were discussing how their father spent all of their dowries, their money and
Yeah, like he
everything.
was really bad with money. He just wasted it away.
So, but then right after there was just like, all right, but do what the Lord is telling you to do. And then at that moment, it's just like, okay, we let go and we tell God, all right, God, this is yours. You handle it. But then what we do is pick it right
Try to
back
take it
up.
ourselves. Mm-hmm.
And the Lord's just like, you just handed it to me. And you say you trust me, but you're still picking it back up.
Yeah, that's what I said. Like a toddler, we just like, give it back. And they're just like, nope, and turn around and run away. You're just like, "Ugh, I just had it. She just was about to put it down. He was just about to give it to me.
You're like,
Because,
he was just about to give me his worries, but look, he started
right?
worrying about it again.
Like earlier today, he wanted to grab a fork and try to like, and I'm like, give me the fork. And it
Trying
was
to
a
like
metal
see
fork.
himself, Dito.
It was the metal forks. I'm like, give it to me. And because I knew that he could hurt himself. I'm like, give it to me. Give it to me. And he his hand out. He was like about to give it to me, right? I said, nope, and went the other way. That is literally the depiction of exactly what you're talking
Mhm.
about right now.
Mhm. Mhm. That's exactly how we are with God.
Wow, that's so true.
I missed
So,
that part. What was it?
We're like
oh,
babies. We're toddlers. We're like little babies. Wow, that's so true.
Ya te
so,
busqué una, mira.
Yeah.
so we were talking about the concept of like Rachel taking the idols, and I saw it as like she wanted to take a piece of home, but she made a really good Jolie made a really good point about how it could be as how we when we want to give the Lord something and surrender it, but we pick it back up and run.
Oh, Santo.
So basically, I gave the
So true.
analogy, and you know this person, Imadi. When I try to ask Caleb for something to give it to me, he acts like he's gonna hand it to me, and then he tucks and runs. I have to chase him around the house because she knows because she's seen it before in live action. And today was a fork. Today was a metal fork.
God bless him. Dito.
Yeah. Your future godson decided to run away with a fork. Thank God he didn't poke his eye out.
Mhm. But when I read this chapter, I was I kept envisioning Jacob's journey this entire time and how he had to come. It was as, I don't know, the way I saw it as though God was molding him and putting him through different transitions to like pretty much shift his character, shift who he was.
Oh
Because
yeah, definitely.
before he was described as a deceiver and a person who pretty much stole a birthright, but then when brought to Laban, that's when I felt like God was working on him, putting him through labor and teaching him how to serve others.
I'm
Where
chuckling because I'm just like that's the literal reason of that's a little different definition. I'm gonna make a man out of you.
yeah,
Work. I'm gonna make a
yeah.
man out of you.
And
Work.
then it wasn't until that he kept pressing him through this cycle in his life that he was just like, all right, I'm going to put you through one more step. I'm going to make sure you have a set plan where I'm going to help you accumulate money. I'm going to help you with your finances so that way you have nothing to worry about. And though this person is trying to take advantage of you, don't worry. I got it handled.
Right. It was kind of like baby said, first get married, second run a household. Now you're running money. Now you got to support your family. Those baby steps. And how it looks for us is almost the same faction, but in a spiritual manner. Is like first you take that first step and get to know the Lord. Now you get to know the Lord. So now you're in the milk phase. So you're getting to know him and know who he is.
Mm-hmm.
Now he got you locked in and now you're feeding and you're just like, okay, I loved, you get to know Jesus and get to know his character. So now he's like, okay, now that we got to know each other and the introductions are over, you got a temper problem we got to take care of. So, well, you know what we're going to do? I'm going to let you meet people that continuously set you off temper wise. Until you learn how to learn your temperament, this is going to continue to happen. Right? Then you get to a point where people it's you're gonna meet someone after time again, or that one person continues to trigger you, doesn't seem to trigger you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And I know that from personal experience. I used to have people that it didn't take a lot. I would just be first on the phone with them, and less than a minute, I'm already yelling. I'm already aggressive. And I'm just like, like I just can't, like I just can't. And one of those shares was my mother's side of the family, and like I used to always try to appease them, and they were just not. It just seemed like it felt like everything I did was 50 ways of wrong until I learned that I'm not looking to appease them, I'm looking to appease the Lord, and
Mhm.
I'm gonna remove myself from the trigger. But when I do come across them, if they say something smart, if they say something that I'm like, I take with a grain of salt. That's your opinion, and it's not true because I know it's not true. It is what you make it. So it kind of reminds me of like you set your own realities on that portion. Like you can't control what someone says to you, but you can control your reaction.
Amen.
And then it's as though once it's as though
And then what?
once you're being put through the same thing over and over again, it purposely happens because God is pretty much showing you, I'm allowing this to happen.
Hmm.
I'm allowing you to go through this process all over again so that you can reflect on your past because you keep failing the same test. I'm
Right.
giving you the
Wow.
same test over and over again, and you're going through it again because you
Hmm.
keep failing. I need you to see this. So,
I need you to see this, or you ask for help in that manner. Here's the thing. This is the part that people don't they just don't get in their brains, right? Let's say you ask the Lord for patience. He's not going to tap your forehead and be like, you have now all the patience that you need. No, he's going to give you trials and being to teach you how to be patient. Because
Oh wow.
he teaches you through teaching. Doesn't teach you like a magic genie and just sprinkle little patience dust on you. Like that just doesn't work.
Oh,
So, you want to work on your temper? He's going to give you situations
amen.
how to control your temper, which is the fruit of self-control. He's
And
going to give you times to learn how to self-control. You want to learn how to love others more than yourself selfishly? He's going to put you in a lot of selfless acts where he's going to see, are you going to be selfless or are you going to be selfish?
Hmm.
Mhm.
When you need help with gentleness, well, gentleness, the only way how you learn gentleness for me is parenting, how to be gentle with children. Because you can't be going off on a child the same way you be going off at these adults. You got to be
Hmm.
gentler. So that's how you learn gentleness. Like it's just like it doesn't just happen. And sometimes they all feed off each other. So sometimes you think you're learning one fruit, but in order to have self-control, you have to have love
the same
Um,
Love
way,
and internal
Jesus.
yes.
peace.
I don't have children.
In order to have joy, you got to understand what it is to be kind because kindness feeds joy. To have joy in your situations,
Wait,
Wow.
so
peace comes from no matter what happens, you know that the Lord is with you. So that's how you get the peace beyond all understanding.
for
So it
me,
all
Hmm.
starts
that
from
has
love. From love, you receive peace because Jesus loves you, and He's going to give you the peace, which stems the
Which
kindness,
come.
which stems the gentleness. So you are gentle with others and you are loving in spirit. But let's not get it twisted. Kindness is not fake nice, and love is not fake nice. That's the hard part that I feel like Christians don't understand. Because Jesus was not, here's the thing, this is the part Jesus was nice, but he was nice and not nice. How I'm saying is, Jesus,
Okay.
do you find yourself, he was not afraid to call someone out for their sin because he loved you so much that he didn't want you to be self condemned. Why do you think he outlawed called the Pharisees a brood of vipers, filled with self-righteous hypocrisy? Is that sweet? That don't sound like sweet-tempered Jesus. That sounds like you doing 50 ways of wrong, and if you continue to do that, you're gonna figure it out all the
On
wrong
your
ways.
own. Figure it out.
right. You said
Ooh.
for you that the Lord taught you gentleness through your children. But for me, considering I don't have children, the Lord worked on how I
You,
view people.
yeah.
And because how he views us is as his children. He started allowing me to see people's reaction and people's actions
Mm-hmm.
as children. So if a
Right.
person is speaking illy about you, it's like
Mm-hmm.
pretty much like them catching a tantrum, or thus like they're whispering, like it's
That's
just,
why I always say what helped me also with gentleness with adults, because I got to a point where I was sweet with children, but if you were above 18, I had a mouth. You could handle it. I had an age limit on me,
no, no,
and the
but
Lord worked with me on that one.
Huh.
So the only way that I was able to break that off of me is, like I said, assume a positive intent. So if someone used to cut me, I used to have road rage. What? And especially when I was pregnant, it was crazy. And my coworkers would be like, Brittany. But I got to a point where I just assumed positive. They cut me off. Oh, they had emergency. They had to go get to the. I will make up a story. It didn't even have to be the right story. Oh, they had to go. They had to go see their loved one in the hospital, so they're rushing.
like for
They
me,
oh they had a baby. The so and so had a baby, so they wanted to go meet them, so they're rushing. I just assume positive intent. Oh, they're just angry because they had a really bad day. I really hope it gets better for them.
for me,
Well, it's a
like
good way
when
of
I
doing it.
would view people that way, like for example, there was a woman I used to work with who always used to speak badly behind people's back. And so the way the Lord helped me view her was just like, oh, just imagine what she went through as a child, how she sought out attention and she didn't get it. So she tried
Wow.
to continue to speak to others and she was never heard. And now that she's
Right,
Wow.
older, she's trying to be heard. So just like, and then it kept happening like that over and over again with different people, just viewing them
right.
like, oh, you
When
can't.
you're overly criticized as a child, you become over criticized. You become overly critical as an adult,
Mm-hmm.
because now you're critiqued and picked at as a child, but now you think you,
Yeah.
because you grown now, you be like, but if you would have done this way, I would have done this way, and that's the stuff that's why I say assume. I was like, my favorite thing to understand is hurt people hurt other people, and when they come from a hurt place, I learned to disconnect personally, because I know that when I was in a hurt place, I used to be bark. I would bark till the cows come home, and I used to be so aggressive and so angry. But I knew that I got to a point where I was able to disconnect the fact that what they're saying to me is not what they're truly saying to me. All I hear coming to me is, you are so hurt right now, and your nervous system is screaming right now. And I'm gonna let you say what you gotta say, because apparently your nervous system needs to be regulated. Now, I would lovingly tell them, we could talk about this, but we're not talking about this with the screaming and the yelling. We can bring that down. I understand your nervous system is screaming at you, and you feel like you have to scream to get your point across. But I can hear you. I hear you. I always tell them, I hear you. So let's bring that down. I hear you. Tell me what's going on. Tell me what you gotta say. Tell me this, and that's how I'm able to. That's why mainly I think the Lord has me talking to teenagers and preteens, because adolescent children or something else. I have a moody 14-year-old sister-in-law, and yes, she's going through all the motions, and the only one who can actually talk and level with her is me and her mom at this point. And then she's on the spectrum, so that's another added level, and some people get frustrated, and I sometimes get confused. I'm like, what is there to be frustrated? And they're just like, because she's doing X, Y, and Z. I said, and I used to like her older brother. They'll end up going at it, and he'll like Gio will be like, she's doing X, Y, and Z. I'm like, okay, so what was your part? But she's doing X, Y, and Z. So Gio, what was your part? But she's still. I said, I heard her part. What was your part? And he goes, well, I did the X, Y, and Z, X, Y, and Z. And I said, and what time did this happen? Well, she just came home from school. I said, okay, she just came home from school. Let's say you come home from school and you have a bad day and your nervous system is yelling at you, and you just You're so dysregulated and thing, and then she feels it times three. So she just feels all this amplified emotion so strongly, and she doesn't know what to do with it, and she's still learning how to like put the battle axe away. And then she's a teenager. I said, Gio, you know what it's like to be a teenager. So put
Mm.
herself in your shoes, and then you're sitting here barking at her why she didn't do this and to go do this. She needs a minute. That's why she snapped at you, because the minute that you try to snap at her, she snapped back. She's older. She wants respect. She's not. She's trying to tell you that she's 14 and not 8. So it's just
Mm.
like understanding where someone's coming from and their level, but also standing firm and to be so I said, do you want her to respect you? You want her to tell you to to stop telling you to go f off? You want her to stop calling you a b and this, that, and the third? You want her to stop flying off her mouth? Awesome, that's a great goal, but it starts with you. You provoke it the minute that your mouth flies at her. Don't be a stupid bee, just clean it. I said, if that was me, I said, you knew who I used to be. I was like, if that was me, you talked to me like that 4 years ago, I think I would have raised my hand at you. But that's your sister. And she's 14. And she remembers the words she tells you. She remembers everything. Careful what you say to her. Careful what you say to others, because you know what? I'm gonna be honest. And this just shows that like about everything that you do leaves a mark. But what's that mark gonna be? Is it gonna be positive or is it gonna be negative?
Mhm.
I watched
Mm.
this video once and I really learned about my temper and how my words affected other people. I watched someone nail things in a fence. And I would never forget this. He nailed stuff in a fence. And then the therapist told the person to take the nails out. And he's like, this is so stupid. I just did all this. He goes, Nembe. And then he goes, apologize to the fence. Well, it didn't do anything. Well, that's exactly what you say or do. Your actions affect people. Those marks, those deceitful, the gossip, the bochinches that people say of others, the fruits of the spirit. But see, the part that we have to remember that, are we gonna be part of the solution or part of the problem?
Mm. Dale la papita, abuela.
Are we gonna be part of the solution? Are we gonna
La
be
papa.
like Jacob, where we're humble and he's gonna say like, even though you chased me down, we're gonna sit at a table where we're gonna come up with a solution? Or you're gonna find yourself you're lacing and see through jealous eyes and don't want to see anybody well, and you're coming from a hurt place and you just want to be all bark and no bite, and continue want to hammer those nails into that fence, and then all of a sudden say, I'm sorry. Forgiveness, yeah, I'll forgive you. But those marks never really truly go away. The Lord binds them in their wounds, but those scars they're still there. The Lord heals you from it, but those doesn't mean that it doesn't
Yeah.
just all go away.
Mhm.
Hmm. That's a fact.
Your experiences that you go through, just they don't get erased. He doesn't have an eraser to just erase it. But through forgiveness, you're able to work through it.
But them scars stays there as a testimony.
They stay there as a
Amen.
testimony.
And just as we have kids and our kids leave us scarred with stretch marks and little
Mm.
stains in our body, we use those as testimonies to our kids and say, yeah, you did that.
Yeah.
That's a scar that I will always remember I had you in there.
My
And I
first
went
baby
through
was a
this.
C-section.
And that C-section won't go away.
Mm-mm.
Why? It's a scar for life that you will always remember what it was to be a pregnant woman, a mom, to carry a baby in your womb. And it was the most precious and,
It
you
was,
know,
though.
most beautiful experience to go through. But you stay
Yeah.
scarred. And when you
I
stay
had to let
scarred, it's for a reason.
like Naomi had this thing and I had to fix what she used to say because I said, don't speak that over yourself. She told me, she goes, Mommy, I didn't listen and they had to cut me out. I'm like, no, baby. I said, it's not that you didn't listen. I said, baby, you are very strong spirited, and you still are. That's not a bad thing. You march the beat of your own drum, and that's okay. But at the moment that we try to get you to flip, you decided that you wanted to come out differently in the world, but that's okay. I told you.
She's
I said you were
special.
just
She's
strong spirited.
special.
I said you were just and if you get a chance, and you will get to know her, you're gonna know exactly because she just be saying things like, "What?"
Kids. Oh man.
She told my aunt, and she was, she just turned 3. She asks, "Where's Caleb? Why can't Caleb come with her?" This girl really told her aunt, "Oh, Caleb can't come because he's still on the milk." Only big girls can go out with you.
Como quien
That's
dice, he drinks checha, he can't come.
that's what I'm
Oh,
telling you. I
Dios.
got a strong spirited little girl, but I'm just like, Lord, will you just turn it towards you and not towards stubbornness? Please.
Wow.
Both my children, they're both spitfires in their own right.
Mm.
Caleb is a goofball, but don't take nothing seriously.
Kayla is a nice name. It's my nephew's name.
Yeah, his name is Caleb Yuri. Both my children have very strong names. They're namesakes. They have very strong namesakes. Naomi is Naomi Ariel Bazaras. Her first name is Naomi, which means pleasant and noble, and then her
Okay.
middle name means Lion of God.
Okay. Ariel. Ariel.
Mhm. And then Caleb is Caleb Uriel Bazaar.